My beloved child, let truth become the place where your feet are planted, and do not allow passing emotions to lead you like the wind driving a leaf across the field. There are things that at first bring warmth, words that sound as sweet as honey, presences that make you think you have finally found a refuge. But not everything that stirs your heart is love that comes from me. True love does not merely make you happy for a moment. It also keeps you in purity, strengthens you in what is good, draws you nearer to me, and allows your inner being to rest instead of quietly cracking apart. So do not ask only whether something makes you happy. Ask whether it makes you brighter, gentler, freer, and closer to what I desire for you. I do not want you to confuse infatuation with covenant, the feeling of being needed with genuine love, or silence born from fear of displeasing others with the true peace that comes from heaven. There are times when you choose silence before what is wrong because you fear that if you speak, everything will fall apart. But my child, a calm built on avoidance is not the peace I give. It is like a house beautifully painted on the outside, while its foundation beneath is already cracked. I have not called you into a false peace that forces you to swallow your tears, doubt your worth, and accept things that weary your mind. True love does not require you to lose the holy voice within yourself in order to keep someone close. True love does not make you shrink your light to fit into someone else's darkness. True love does not ask you to exchange closeness for fear, dependence, and sleepless nights, wondering what you did wrong. What comes from me will not pull you into chaos and call it passion. It will lead you into righteousness, where your heart can breathe in the light. I want you to learn discernment, not through bitter suspicion, but through a watchful mind and a heart guarded in me. You are set apart, not to live distant in pride, but so that you do not hand the most precious part of yourself to things that do not know how to honor the purity I have placed within you. You are not a wanderer begging for a little love at half-closed doors. You are my child, called by steadfast love, covered by grace, and cherished within a good plan. Therefore, your standard cannot be fleeting attention, beautiful promises without fruit, or actions that pull you close one moment and push you away the next until your heart is exhausted. Your standard must be my love, pure, faithful, truthful, free from manipulation, free from humiliation, and never leading you away from what is good. What comes from me will carry a mark that you can recognize when you remain near me. It will not necessarily be loud, and it will not always overwhelm you, but it will carry a deep stability, a peace that does not need to be begged to stay. It will not rebel against what I have taught you is good. It will not force you to hide, compromise, or step into darkness to hold on to a brief feeling. And over time, it will bear fruit. Love will grow wider, joy will become purer, patience will increase, kindness will soften, humility will deepen, faithfulness will endure, and self-control will no longer be swept away by every wave. These things do not need to be forced out like unripe fruit picked too soon. They will grow gradually through true life. When something comes from Z, you will not have to keep fighting in secret to convince yourself that it is good. Something within you will know how to rest. But if what you are holding keeps you constantly uneasy, if it makes you jealous until you lose your calm, fearful until you forget yourself, doubtful of the very worth I have placed upon you, then stop and listen to me. Disorder can also clothe itself in the appearance of intimacy. It can use gentle moments to cover the days that wounded you. It can bring a few sweet words after breaking you apart, making you think that this is love. But I do not want you to live on crumbs of attention. I do not want you to call a storm home, simply because there is sometimes a pause within the storm. Be brave enough to look at the truth without condemning yourself. I do not blame you for trusting, for hoping, for giving your heart to a place you thought was safe. I am simply calling you back to my clarity, where you no longer have to live in a cycle of fear and waiting. Remember the story of Daniel in the palace of a foreign land. He was placed amid splendor, amid the food from the king's table, amid the pressure to blend into a way of life that did not belong to what I had placed within him. But Daniel resolved in his heart not to be carried away by outward comfort and lose inner purity. He did not rebel with noise, nor did he display his difference with pride, but quietly kept his heart faithful. And that discernment made him stand firm in a place filled with temptation. In the same way, some things are brought before your eyes, looking like opportunity, like love, like comfort. But if they require you to trade away the peace I give, if they pull you away from truth, then have the courage to step back. A timely refusal can become the doorway that leads you into freedom. I do not leave you alone in this discernment. I do not place you in the sea of life, and then stand far away, watching you struggle against great waves. I go before you to light the way, walk beside you to support you, and cover you from behind, so that what has passed cannot pull you back. When you are unsure, draw closer to me. When you are confused, let my presence quiet the noise. When you are torn between what you want and what you know is right, choose the light. I will not despise your trembling. I will not reproach you for needing time, but I will continue calling you with gentleness until you understand that true love does not make you lose yourself. If all it helps you return to the person I created you to be. Therefore, do not mourn what I am telling you to leave behind. Do not fear that if you let go, you will have nothing left. What comes from me will not be lost through your obedience. If something truly belongs to the plan I have for you, it will not need to be held by panic, nor protected by compromise, but what only carries a beautiful appearance without producing life. I will gently separate from you in order to protect you from deeper wounds. You may feel pain as you step out, but the pain of deliverance is different from the pain of captivity. One leads you into the light, the other keeps you in familiar darkness. Let your heart be steadfast, my child. Keep your eyes clear to recognize what is true. Keep your ears open to hear my voice among many invitations. And keep your heart watchful, so you are not deceived by the gentle appearance of what is not good. You are worthy of a love that does not make you smaller, does not cause you to doubt yourself, and does not force you to hide from my presence. You are worthy of love that nourishes what is good in you, lifts you to stand upright, brings you peace, and leads you into fullness of life. I will teach you to distinguish between the call of grace and the pull of fear. I will help you recognize what is a hand that supports you and what is a cord that binds you. And when you choose what belongs to me, even if at first you must release what you had grown used to, you will not walk into loss. You will walk into freedom, into healing, into my arms, where true love does not throw you into confusion, but brings you into rest, my beloved child. Before you knew how to call yourself by name, I had already placed within you precious things that no hand of the world could ever give. There are springs hidden deep within you, not meant to remain silent forever, but to flow in their proper season like pure water through dry places. Many times you have looked outward, searching for signs, searching for recognition, searching for proof that your life has meaning. But I want you to return to the depths I touched from the beginning. Within you are seeds of understanding, mercy, creativity from heaven, words that can lift the fallen, and actions that can open a way for those who are lost. Do not despise what I have quietly sown in you, simply because it has not yet bloomed before everyone's eyes. Not every seed rises with applause. Many of the greatest things begin beneath dark soil, where no one sees, yet I am still tending every living sprout with my faithfulness. There are songs that can only rise from your story, words of comfort that can only become true after passing through a heart that has known pain, ideas that can only open when you stop doubting the gift I have placed in your life. You do not need to become someone else in order to be used. You do not need to imitate another person's voice, another person's path, or another person's light. I did not create you as a faded copy in the crowd. I formed you with your own tone, your own rhythm of breath, your own mark within my plan. What I have entrusted to you does not need to resemble what I entrusted to anyone else. And if you keep comparing, you will miss the beauty of the piece of land I have given specifically to you to tend. Remember that the lily does not need to envy the olive tree, and the stream does not need to compete with the mountain. Each created thing carries its own glory when it lives according to what I placed within it. Even so, do not force yourself to bloom before your season. Haste can wound what is still tender. I know you want to see results, to prove that the waiting days were not meaningless, to show others that there is truly something significant within you. But my child, I do not measure growth by outward noise. I look at the roots. I look at quiet endurance. I look at whether your heart remains with me in the days when no one yet calls your name. When you remain in my light, when you allow my word to nourish your mind, when you choose purity amid a world full of distractions, then what I have placed within you will find its way upward. It will not come through force, but through grace. It will not come like a performance, but like a fragrance spreading from a life kept in my presence. Understand that greatness does not always begin with an event that shakes the heavens and the earth. Often it begins with a very small act of obedience. A time when you choose kindness when you could have chosen bitterness. A time when you choose to listen while others only want to judge. A time when you choose to stand beside the weak while the crowd turns away. When you sit with someone who is broken and offer them a gentle presence, you are allowing my love to touch them through you. When you speak a truthful word, even though your voice still trembles, you are lighting a lamp in a room once occupied by darkness. When you forgive what wounded you, not to deny the wound, but so that you are no longer chained to it, you are breaking old cycles and opening a new path for peace. When you choose righteousness in a place where no one applauds, I still see it, and it is not small before me. Remember the story of Bezalel, the one to whom I gave skill to craft holy objects for the place of worship in the wilderness. He did not stand before the people as a king, nor did he carry a sword like a warrior, but his hands were filled by me with understanding to touch wood, gold, precious stones, and fabrics, turning ordinary materials into a place that reflected sacred beauty. Do you see? I do not only use great voices on high mountains. I also use the quiet hands of the craftsman, the discerning eye of one who knows how to create beauty, and the hidden dedication of one who is faithful. In small work, what I have placed within you is the same. It may not look like what you once considered great, but when offered to me, it becomes part of a holy work. A written word, a melody lifted up, an idea nurtured, an act of love carried out at the right time, All of these can become places through which my light passes. My beloved, I do not give you fire and then abandon you in the wind. I do not place vision within you and then leave you confused and alone among your questions. I do not call you to walk and then stand far away, watching you struggle with fear. I am the one who goes before you to open the way, walks beside you to uphold you, and comes behind you to guard what you thought you had dropped. When you are weak, I do not despise your weakness. When you are tired, I do not drive you forward with a cold voice. When you want to give up, because the road is longer than you imagined, I will remind you that you were not chosen, because you are always strong. You were chosen because my love has been placed upon you, and because I know what I can do through a surrendered heart. True strength is not never trembling. True strength is still holding my hand while you tremble. So continue walking in gentle trust. This journey may not look like the picture you once drew in your mind. There may be turns that cause you to relearn patience, silences that make you feel forgotten, and trials that reveal you cannot walk by your own strength. But no part of it is meaningless when you place it in my hands. I can turn empty days into places where a new song begins to rise. I can turn weary knees into testimonies of sustaining grace. I can turn the whirlwind around you into a place where you learn a peace deeper than circumstances. Every small choice made in faith, every step taken in obedience, every time you choose love instead of closing your heart, is opening a path for my light to touch the world through you. So do not fear what is growing within you. Do not rush, but do not bury it either. Let me teach you how to tend those seeds through quiet prayer, righteous living, mercy without pretense, courage to speak the truth, and love offered at the right time. When the season comes, what I have placed within you will not need to fight to be seen. It will shine forth like dawn that cannot be held back. And when others are warmed by that light, you will know that it did not begin with you and does not end with you. I am the source. You are the vessel I dearly love. I am in you, guiding you, lifting you, strengthening you, and through even the most ordinary days, I am turning your life into a living testimony of my steadfast love. My beloved child, there are things you believe you must hold tightly in order not to lose your peace. But that very clinging makes your hands heavy and leaves no space in your heart to receive what I am preparing. When I gently remove something from your life, I do not do so to make you poor, lonely, or empty. I do it because I see that its role has come to an end. There are connections that once supported you for a season, but if you drag them into the new season, they will become burdens. There are doors that once sheltered you from the rain, but if you keep standing beneath the old porch, you will not enter the larger house I have already opened. Therefore, do not keep asking how you will live without that thing. Ask this instead: if I have taken it from your hand, could it be that I am preparing to place in your hand a grace that is pure, deeper, and more perfectly timed? What I remove cannot steal your destiny. What leaves you cannot remove my love from your life. Do not confuse loss with deliverance. Not everything that departs is punishment. Many times it is mercy untying you from an invisible cord. You may hurt because what was once familiar has suddenly become distant. You may grieve because memories still echo in your heart like footsteps in an old hallway. But I want you to understand that letting go is not a sign of weakness nor proof that you have failed. Letting go is the moment when you, through all your trembling, you say, I trust that Father knows what is better for me. And when you can no longer hold on to anything, that is the very moment you discover that I am still holding you completely. Do not hide your pain from me, and do not try to appear strong before me, as though tears were something shameful. You do not need to come to me with a face untouched by sorrow. Come to me with the truth that is within you. If your heart still aches over something that has left, place that ache in my hands. If you are still stunned by the emptiness the old thing left behind, invite me to sit with you in that empty space. I do not turn away from your sighs. I do not take lightly the nights when you lie still while waves rise within your heart. Every tear of yours is known by me. Not one falls forgotten. There are prayers you have not spoken aloud, yet I heard them before they became words. There are wounds you do not know how to name, yet I know exactly where they need to be touched. When you sit among hopes that seem extinguished, I am still working in silence. You see cold ashes. I see soil ready for new growth. You see an ending. I see a beginning hidden beneath the veil of timing. Your dreams have not been discarded, simply because they did not unfold as you once imagined. I have not forgotten what I planted in you, but there are dreams that must be purified from haste, from fear, and from the images too small that you built with your limited understanding. I do not merely want to give you what you ask for. I want to prepare you to carry it with a heart that is peaceful, pure, and steady. What I write next for you may be different from the draft you once held, but it will not be poorer. It will bear the mark of my wisdom, and when you look back, you will understand why I did not allow you to keep something that was only enough. Remember Abraham on the day I called him to place eyes upon the altar. That child was the promise, the joy of his old age, the impossible thing I had given. Yet I led Abraham to a place where he had to learn that even the greatest blessing must never have between him and me. His hand trembled, and surely his heart was torn in obedience. But at the very place where he became willing to release what was most precious, I revealed that I had not come to destroy the promise, but to make his faith pure. Do you see? I do not need to take away in order to prove my power. I teach you to let go, so you may know that the source of blessing is not the gift, but the giver. When you place your most precious thing before me, you will not come down from the mountain empty, but with a deeper knowledge that I am the provider, the keeper, the one who is never unfaithful. So do not fear this season of transition. Do not fear when the old room grows quiet, when familiar voices become faint, when the things you once leaned on are no longer there to support you as before. I am teaching you to stand in my support, not in props that easily change. Walk, not because you already have enough strength, but because I am your strength in every step. Trust not because you see the whole road, but because I see it, and I do not lead you into nothingness. Let go, not because you have run out of hope, but because you have chosen to place your hope in what I am bringing, instead of imprisoning yourself in what I have closed. Your quiet obedience today may be the doorway into a season of peace you have never known. I know that what lies ahead may still seem unclear to your eyes. You want a clearer sign, a longer explanation, an assurance that will make your heart stop trembling. But my child, there are assurances I do not place in circumstances. I place them in my presence. When everything around you has not yet changed, I am still there. When the answer has not yet come, I am still there. When the new door has not yet opened, I am still there, keeping you from returning to a place where there is no longer life for you. You have not been left behind. You are being prepared in the hidden place. You have not been stripped away. You are being made lighter so you can walk farther. You have not been forgotten. You are being called into a season that requires your heart to become wide enough, soft enough, and trusting enough to receive. So give me what you are still holding tightly in your heart. Give me the longing, the regret, and the unanswered questions. I do not require you to let go with a perfect appearance. I invite you to let go in truth. A little each day, breath by breath, through each quiet heartbeat, allow me to lead you out of the old season and into the new land of grace. That place is not built by doubt, nor opened by fear, but by the steadfast love between me and you. You belong to me, not partly, not only when you are strong, not only when you understand everything, but completely in every season. And I belong to you as your refuge, the hand that upholds you, the light that goes before you. When you walk with me, no loss can be the end. Everything laid down in my hands becomes a holy space for my love to fill, for my peace to speak, and for your new season to begin in unfading gentleness, my beloved child. There are paths you thought you had wandered onto by mistake, but in my eyes, they were still part of a journey being kept. You see the turn, I see the destination. You see slow days that feel like being left behind. I see a quiet season of preparation making you stronger. Your life is not a rigid line of ink on a page, nor is it a straight road without trees, streams, or pauses to breathe. I am weaving your days with mercy, patience, and a love that never runs dry. Sometimes you walk through brightness. Sometimes you must pass through a valley covered in mist. But even where you cannot see the way clearly, my hand does not let go of you. I do not lead you with haste. I lead you with wisdom. I care not only about where you arrive, but also about who you become on the way there. Therefore, do not let the voice of disappointment plant in your heart the thought that you are too late. Do not measure your steps by the pace of someone else's running, and do not look at their harvest and condemn your season of sowing. Every life has its own rhythm of breath within my intention. Some flowers bloom when dawn first rises. Others release their fragrance only when night falls, but no flower is forgotten in my garden. I have never placed you on a scale against anyone else. I do not love you less when you walk slowly, nor do I move away from you when you need to stop and be supported. You do not have to prove your worth through speed, achievement, or the appearance of strength. What I seek in you is a heart willing to open, a step that still turns toward me even while trembling, and an honesty that does not hide its weariness before me. There are cracks in your life that you thought were only signs of brokenness, but I see them as places where light can enter. You believed your weakdays had taken away your value, but I tell you that in the very place you thought was failure, I can place a beauty no one can counterfeit. Ashes in your hands are not the end when they are placed in mine. Closed doors do not have the authority to decide your future while I am still the one holding the key. What you call a dead end may be the place where I teach you to lift your eyes instead of staring at the wall before you. What you call delay may be my protection from something you were not yet strong enough to carry, or from a path that looked beautiful but was never meant for you. Remember Joseph, the beloved son who had to pass through roads that did not look like the original promise. He was thrown into a pit, sold into a distant land, misunderstood in a stranger's house, and then forgotten in a prison. If one looked only at each event separately, it would seem as though his life had been torn away from a good plan. But I used those very winding roads to bring Joseph to a place where he could save many people from famine. The pit could not swallow the promise. The prison could not lock away the time I had appointed to lift him up. Human forgetfulness did not make me forget the one I was preparing. In the same way, There are places where you once wept in silence, days when you thought you had been abandoned in the dark, but I was there, arranging, refining, and turning what seemed lost into part of a greater fulfillment. My child, I do not require you to understand everything before you keep walking. If you only step when everything is clear, you will easily remain still in fear. I invite you to walk in faith, not the noisy kind of faith that seeks to show itself before others, but a small, sincere, quiet faith placed in my hand. If you will only give me that key, I will open doors you cannot open by yourself. If you continue turning toward me, I will keep guiding you through layer after layer of mist. You do not need to carry the answer to every question in your heart. You only need to hold on to this truth. I have never stopped loving you. My love is not shaken by your mistakes, not limited by your past, not depleted when you are weary, and not changed when you have not yet seen the result. There are times when you blame yourself for wandering too long, for trusting the wrong things, choosing poorly, and wasting strength on things that did not bring peace. But hear me speak gently to you. I can redeem even the seasons you thought were lost. I can take the years that seemed barren and turn them into good soil for the season ahead. Nothing in my hands is useless when you are willing to surrender it to me. Your tears did not fall outside my presence. Your choked prayers did not dissolve into empty air. During the nights when you wondered whether you were still being guided, I was closer than your breath, quietly protecting you from things you never even knew. So stop resisting the rhythm of grace. Let your heart rest in my care. You are allowed to walk slowly, but do not turn away. You are allowed to grow weary, but do not believe that you have been abandoned. You are allowed to cry, but do not let your tears blur the truth that I am still at work. I do not write your destiny with haste, but with the precision of the one who knows the end from the beginning. Every time you rise after stumbling, you are learning endurance. Every time you choose to trust me, even without understanding, you are growing deeper. Every time you release what no longer belongs to you, you are being emptied to receive what is purer. So keep walking, my child. You do not need to walk like someone who never grows weak. Walk like someone who knows they are loved. You do not need to look around to see who has gone farther. Look up and remember that my eyes are still upon you. I am not bringing you to healing merely so you can survive, but so that you may live fully in the light I have prepared, especially for you. When your season comes, no one can close what I have opened. When my timing has ripened, the roads that once seemed winding will appear as a map full of grace. And you will understand that you were never late for what I had prepared. You were simply being led there by a path, deeper, gentler, and holier than you ever imagined.